oh creator. Wanna find a reason why we have to cry? Buildings falling down, and no one's there to save us.
With the finale having come and gone, I feel as though I'm leaving Recreators with more baggage than I expected, but at least it's the good kind.
だから語ろうと思う。
Recreators was originally conceived as a massive multiplayer crossover MMORPG of sorts. It was meant to feature multiple real-life creators' original characters, such as Shoji Karamori and Gen Urobuchi, but obviously, that fell through, and is the reason I'm talking about the anime spawned from failure. Recreators' end was also its beginning. Aoki, Recreators' director, has made it apparent through multiple interviews and offhanded comments on Twitter that he is an American film enthusiast. I don't know why, when he lives in the greatest country in the world and also has the best films in the world, even though that's mostly anime, and also, actually, I'm just kidding, the Japanese live action industry kind of sucks. And he stated that his directional style is heavily influenced by some of the industry's icons like Steven Spielberg and Christopher Nolan. And for Recreators, Aoki has said that Nolan has had a very heavy influence on his adaptation of the series in terms of his directing. And speaking of those influences, the first episode features a scene where Altair chases the protagonist in a car, and during that, Aoki imitates the 360-degree continuous shot during Spielberg's War of the Worlds, turning his influences into homage. Talking about the writer in episode 7, there's a scene where several characters are discussing contacting manga creators, and during that conversation, the camera pans across various books where it falls upon a slightly obscured, direct reference to Black Lagoon. The author of Black Lagoon, Ray Hiro, is responsible for the very characters and story they're discussing. And Hiro didn't hold back. In a show already dominated by dialogue, Hiro's original scripts for the series were actually double the length of what was actually adapted into the series' 22 episodes. Alongside the anime's airing, a manga adaptation of Recreators was published concurrently, and the person Ray Hiro chose to draw it was Daiki Kato, a former hentai artist. Please draw Meteora porn, thank you. Director Aoki founded the studio producing Recreators, Studio Troika. But for years before this endeavor, Aoki actually did a lot of work at the infamous Studio UFO table, most eminently as director of Fate Zero, and he never forgot those directional roots, featuring the UFO table cafe during the prominent conversation between Sota and Mamika. Hiro's scripts were focused on the story he was trying to tell, but in order for it to become an anime, there was some rearranging and adding and subtracting, probably some division, that had to be done to meet Aoki's vision. So in terms of adding, for example in episode 10, when Celestia comes back after being stabbed, that scene was added on and was not in Mr. Hiro's original text, and another is Sota confessing his sins. In the original text, it was supposed to be much later. But that was brought up somewhat earlier in the story for the purposes of the anime. So although the story is Hiro's, it is also Aoki's in a sense. In episode 2, during the fight between Celicia and Mamika, the rooftop they are on is actually modeled after the bridge area of Sunshine City in Ikebukuro that connects the World Import Mart building in the Prince Hotel. In real life, this is the area where the line forms for the entry to the Sunshine Creations Dojin events. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, please draw Meteora porn, thank you, please. Between a fiery redhead that can easily beat me to a pulp, a square-pupiled sword violinist, a straight-up magical girl, and, well, etc, 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 there's many characters I could understand as being someone's favorite. But the character that director Aoki silently pushed for more screen time isn't any of those. It's Nakano Gane, for some reason, who Aoki says he likes because he's chubby, cute, and in the anime industry, which is something Aoki says he can easily sympathize with. But he's wrong. Meteora is best.
白百合の縁自由形なおちゃんばあちゃんよ返事はさようなら繋いだ手大きくて頼もしいしょっちゅうおんぶもされた灯火そのもので優しい光ところでねえあの花何補助輪が取れたばっかチャリまたガリチャリ道転んだなかんかったな男の子だな